Good evening is great matter. Matter of fact, give me a quick second. I gotta make sure my levels is right. So, of course, I've been gone for a long ass while. I do apologize, but I also don't apologize. I kind of just been going through the motions, throwing boxes like usual, just doing my usual thing. It is what it is. Okay, you're gonna have to forgive me right now. I have a headache. It's hard to breathe. I'm not sick. This could just be my blood disorder. I know I am stuffy, a little congested. It is what it is. So if I sound off to you or I end up pausing too much, you know why. I'm just trying to catch my breath, trying to get oxygen. But anyway, it's been interesting what's been going on lately. So them Somalians, yeah. I'm not even gonna go deep into this shit. I'm just gonna point out the fact that we've been getting robbed by immigrants, and this is nothing fucking new. It is just getting exposed, and you find out that it's deeper than what we thought it was. I've already been pointing out how Venezuelans have been, coming into America, getting a bunch of free ass shit through our taxpayer dollars via welfare. But the Somalians, turns out they were creating fake businesses and also collecting government funding and shipping all that money back to their homeland. The literal Somalian GDP has been shipped back, stolen from American workers. Who would have fucking thought? I mean, it is. When I read that, I wasn't even surprised. I was just like, wow, all right. What the fuck's new? People are still going to fight for immigrants to stay here because they're stupid. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? What can I say? I really don't have anything to say. I have like multiple videos on this very topic. Not the Somalians specifically, but these immigrants hopping the border, coming in, getting free housing and free shit off of our backs, and then shipping the money back to their homeland. Meanwhile, our economy suffers for it. Had this conversation with family, and of course, because I supported Trump, it was a damn issue, and calling him a puppet of Israel and all this other bullshit. We talking about the illegal immigrants. Obviously, what I had to say didn't mean nothing, and in fact, they wanted to get me to join ICE. Like, they're hiring. You can go to the border and stop the invasion then, since you like ICE so much. That's pretty much what that shit was. It's tiring just dealing with family and random people about this fucking topic. And a lot of times I'm arguing with people that are older than me, which is weird because that's going to go right into what the angry man was talking about. I'm over here arguing with folk that are older than me, some of them twice my age, and he's got a lot of shit to say about the young folk, which is crazy. Oh yeah, and we bombed Venezuela and nabbed their president, who just happens to be a drug cartel leader. Niggas really thought we were going to war though. It's like the shit's over, man. It's done. I'm gonna be real. I didn't even bat an eye. I laughed. Shit was funny to me. I know Venezuelan citizens are cheering and happy as shit right now. They glad they got this motherfucker out, which should tell you something. But of course, people are gonna try to flip it to make Trump to look evil, like they always do. They people are late on this shit. They're late on this shit too. I don't even know why. We gonna get to these videos. Just give me a second. I had to address what the angry man had to say, and keep in mind that doesn't mean don't watch the video for like 2 hours and damn near 30 minutes. Everything he had to say was spot on. Straight up. Yes, the black community, I don't know what the hell happened to us, but the moment 90% of us voted for Kamala, I knew then the programming has set in. Let's listen to what he has to say.
You having a conversation with him, it's going to destroy your entire worldview. It's going to destroy your entire identity.
He's talking about if you were to have a conversation with Trump.
But it's not surprising because you've allowed the media to train you into believing you're smarter than you actually are. And really, to be truthfully honest, a lot of you that are online talking about politics and stuff, you're not even as smart as most people's pets. How else could a group of people coming from a country that is predominantly inbred,
he's talking about Somalia,
with an average IQ of 68, in America, anything with an IQ of 70 or below is considered disabled. It's considered mentally disabled. But you've allowed a group of people coming from a country that has inbreeding, an average IQ of 68, to come to this country and rob you blind.
That's the thing. Can we really say that they're stupid if they were able to successfully pull that shit off? Granted, they had help, but what were people really focused on? Work, food, trying to survive and shit. It's hard to know. Like, I'm gonna be blunt. I didn't know. I knew we were being robbed. I knew the immigrants were robbing us, but the method. Shit. I knew they was getting free healthcare, free housing, free everything. I knew that much. But they were creating, well, I mean, that's what the Chinese do when they have the border. They take advantage of our welfare and then use that shit to start businesses. But of course, the Somalians were making fake daycares and shipping the money back home. Like, they always doing that shit. It's crazy,
and
man.
You still are in denial about it.
I'm not in denial. I believe that shit.
You're still believing every slow-witted, goofy story that they're telling. They're over there in Minnesota right now telling you stories that have holes in it so big you could drive Mack trucks through it. And you're like, well, they're just doing it because of racism. See, I'm going to tell you the truth. Here's the reality.
Oh yeah, and another thing. I know Tommy Sotomayor talks about this a lot. Talks about tethers and how they come in here in America. Angry Man's been talking about this too, where they come in and try to use blacks and the black struggle to, you know, get away with bullshit. They're Somalian when they're getting they paper, but when they get caught, they're black. Like, even though they themselves don't even want to be associated with us or even be called black like we are. It's nasty work. But I'm not finna explain that shit. You want to hear someone talk deeper about that? Watch Angry Man or watch Tommy Sotomayor. Just do that.
Is America. The average American has progressively became dumber and dumber over the freaking decades. We are nowhere near as smart as we used to be. Nowhere near it. In fact, I would argue that there's a bunch of you out there that only have 2 digits in your IQ. I guarantee you there's a lot of you out there that don't even have an IQ above 100. And how do I know this? I know this just based on the way you operate, just based on the shit you believe, just based on the logic you use to justify why you believe the shit that you believe. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We've heard stories about P. Diddy for years. This man finally gets brought to account for his actions, and y'all are defending it. Defending it. But what about Cassie? She was a willing participant.
I mean, two things could be right at the same time. She was a willing participant, and Diddy should have been locked up for way longer. In all honesty, the fact that I found out that Cassie was helping him set up those Diddy parties, and we know that artist was getting raped and taken advantage of at these parties, she's just as guilty. Because she knew what was going on with that. She was with this man for years, while simultaneously getting her ass beat. Can't leave that part out. But when you go into what was going down and some of the escorts and everything that they, from their standpoint, everything, she was begging for them. Like, she actually was showing enjoyment of those parties. It's a deep ass rabbit hole with that shit. But no, she's not innocent. Nor is Diddy.
Like, I could go down the list. You had Ice Cube come out with a plan, the plan for Black America. You treated him so fucked up. He said, you know what? Y'all got it. I'm done. Trump was willing to talk to you before he got elected. Biden wasn't willing to talk to you until after he got elected. And after he got elected, not only did he not talk to you, but go listen to the video, go listen to the audio of him talking to the Black Congressional Caucus once he got elected. He talked to them like they wasn't shit. We're literally talking about a guy who's always been a failure in politics, who said more racial things than anybody else I know of in politics.
He's talking about Biden.
It's part of the reason why he never became president back in the day.
Bro, he stole the damn election. I don't even really believe a bunch of people voted for him like that. That's the whole fucked up part about all this shit. But I want to get to the point where he was talking about the younger generation, because that's the part I want to address.
Said that he didn't want his generation. Told you if you don't vote for him, then you ain't black.
He did say that.
That party.
Joe Biden was also sniffing a bunch of fucking little girls and shit too on camera. They was looking mad uncomfortable. We don't talk about that either. Like, that shit'll pop up, and that he'll do that in public right in front of our faces, and no one says nothing. But y'all still trying to find Trump's name in the Epstein files and try to like pin something serious on him. And because you can't find it, or you haven't found it yet, and I say yet because you never will, but whatever. You haven't found anything, and you're just like, oh man, it's because they redacted the files. They're hiding shit. Even though I've already talked about it in a previous video, this man was an informant. He gave the information that they needed. Like, he helped them arrest Epstein back in the early 2000s. No one's pointing that shit out. I don't see some ordinary gamer talking about it. I don't see random tech YouTubers talking about it. I know Mental Outlaw didn't say nothing about that. No one said anything. Y'all just want Trump to be guilty. Meanwhile, Biden was on camera sniffing little girls. It's whatever.
Knows that you're stupid. They know it. They know it. In fact, they're banking on it. They know they can get up on TV and feed you any line of bullshit and you're going to buy it. Hook, line, and sinker. They ain't got to trick you. All I gotta do is just tell you the sky is falling, and you're gonna duck and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to watch. And check this out. And you know how I know it's programming? Because if you're 30 years old or younger, I already know what your political leaning is.
This the part.
If you're 30 years old or younger, you hate Donald Trump, you love anything the Democrats do, you believe in pronouns and all that other crap, you don't think kids should get corporal punishment, you believe in gentle parenting, and you think everybody should have the right to express how they feel and be what they want, regardless of who it affects.
This is what I want to talk about. Took long enough, but he was cooking. Listen. All right, back to the points I was making earlier in this video. I have argued with people twice my age, and I am 30, mind you. Recently turned 30. People twice my age arguing with me about Trump and who Trump really is. And I tell them my viewpoint and what it is that I have to say. And it's, well, if you believe that, that's their response. We have leftists and raging liberals in all generations. It ain't just folk under 30. Hell, who created this shit? Like, I'm gonna be blunt, man. The whole leftist liberalism shit, that's been around since the 60s. And I'd argue even before that shit. The only reason why it's so prevalent now is because it's on the internet. We have the ability to access shit from other countries at lightning fast speed. It's not that we're just, you know, young and stupid folk. There's old and stupid people. I'm just being blunt. If I, a 30-year-old, can argue with boomers and Gen Xers about Trump, this shows you that it is not I almost said a class thing. Like, it's a class issue is something else. Forgive me, I'm foggy. Okay, but this isn't a age thing. It's not. It's just right versus wrong. That's all it is. He did say in the part of this video too that it was the white male conservatives that were going to be the ones to save the country. And it's like, they ain't the only ones fighting. We're two black conservatives trying to spread the news. I say we just ain't getting the views that we should be getting on these videos. I'll say that. I mean, hell, my shit is been shadow banned to all hell. I'm still at like 113 followers. He at least has 800k. My shit, I know I'm getting shadow banned because I've seen what YouTube did to me during COVID. Every time I've spoken on a serious topic, I've got censored. They've been hitting me with age restrictions, all types of shit. And that's on YouTube. On Instagram, they just wanted to straight up delete my account. They even put me in Facebook jail for months on end. And then after I got put in Facebook jail, the day I get out, they throw me in another Facebook jail for 30 more days for an even older post that I made. It's like they had 30-day jail time for me per post that I made over the span of a year during COVID. They were just locking my shit up. it was terrible. I'm not even gonna lie. So my YouTube, my Facebook account is shot. My YouTube account has been heavily hindered. My Instagram exists, but that shit is a damn ghost town now. My whole shit got hit up. I'm just being blunt here. So my black ass wasn't reaching nobody. But that didn't stop me from talking about these situations. One, because it's therapeutic, and sometimes I feel I have no one to talk to. But two is because people just need to hear this shit. It's just that damn simple. And to say that if you're under 30, I already know what your politics is. Like, no, you don't. I'm proof of that shit. I and my friends and their friends, because we talk, whether it be on Discord or we're playing Xbox in a party chat, we all know what's up. That alone gives me some hope. Especially when I'm dealing with these leftists online. Because for a while it felt like I was surrounded by leftists. But now I got people who ain't afraid to say what they gotta say. Or at the very least, we can have conversations. Then the whole corporal punishment and shit, like, especially if we're talking about the black community, are we talking about regular spankings? Because there's kids in the black community who grew up getting beat with extension cords for every little fucking thing, and we call that discipline. Getting screamed at by your mom over stupid shit, fucking having cups and other shit thrown at you. You know, getting snatched up and beat in front of your friends at school. Oh, that's discipline. Like, no, bro. Like, a lot of that shit is how the slaves got punished during the days of slavery, and then you passed that shit down and you was doing your kids like that. Like, the shit didn't do nothing but build resentment. That's where that shit's coming from. This ain't the typical, spanking. Where they tell you, hey, just while you're getting a spanking, you get spanked and you get told to go to your room. Nah, you just, sometimes you'll get smacked, like blindsided, smacked. Damn near black out. You don't even know why the hell you got hit. From out of nowhere, from like a blind spot. You ain't even see it coming. Yeah. As a kid. Discipline. You could genuinely not know what you did wrong and get told straight to your face, I should have socked you in your mouth. Like, what? You don't even know why. Sometimes you know why, but in some instances you really don't know. You think you was good all day, but you really wasn't. Like, nah, a lot of that shit's going on in the black community. So any young person who's like, I don't want to beat my kids because that's what they went through, I understand. I get it. A lot of black kids getting beat out of anger right now. Something didn't happen. Instead of having a conversation and actually like talking to the kid, they just getting their ass beat. Toe up. And we laugh about the shit. That's what makes it worse. And they go through that abuse and they go through all that shit, and then it's verbal abuse, mental abuse. They play psychological games with you. You know, when your dad get home, he gonna whoop your ass because your grades wasn't good. Not your mom, disciplining you. No. You gotta wait with the thought on your mind that, your pops is about to come home and beat your ass. And then they tell you to go out and outside and play and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. That ain't discipline. And then when it's all said and done, everyone act like they done forgot about the shit that you went through as a kid. You ain't getting no apology. Nah. None of that. So yeah, the kids that went through that shit and they're like, I don't want to, beat my kids, because every kid don't need to get beat either. But anyway, like I was saying, they go through that shit. They don't want to put hands on their kids. They don't want to become that angry parent that nobody wanted to be around. Okay, like they ain't trying to be that parent that use scripture against their kids. Oh, children, obey your parents, for this is right. That scripture. but they leave out the part where it says don't provoke your kids to anger. They leave that part out. There's kids that's going through that shit. It ain't just they don't want to discipline their kids. It's they don't want to become the very thing that traumatized them in the past. Because I'm gonna be blunt, like Gen Xers swear that they're the last ones to get beat. You're not. Millennials been getting cooked too. Shit. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. Like we ain't finna sit here and act like the shit was just regular spankings. But aside from that, I have nothing else to say. All right. The news is the news. What came out does not surprise me. Venezuela has been liberated. Not Nigerians. The fucking Somalians got exposed, but this by itself should expose all the other immigrants, quote unquote immigrants that came in. We also got an invasion going on dealing with these Middle Easterners. Why do we have a Muslim mayor in New York and a bunch of mosques going up? Like this is what I wanted to get into next. Look at this.
You need to watch this.
What is playing out in Nigeria right now could be what would play out in America 30 years from now. To acknowledge how Islam has conquered every nation it's touched, it hasn't been by voluntary conversion. It has been done by the sword. It is not in their religion to assimilate to a culture in an area that you move into. You are commanded to dominate that culture and make everybody submit to you. So for people to say, there's a mosque going up in my backyard, let's celebrate it. No. That is a sign.
Yeah, this is for all the free Palestine motherfuckers in the back. Just saying.
Of them conquering your territory. That is how they view it. If they have a minority population, they have to be nice, play nice, be quiet. But once they reach that threshold, the political threshold is when the violence occurs. I get the same story from survivors in Nigeria. They say the Fulani moved in. Our kids played together. We did business together. Everything was fine until the one day where even their neighbors partook in the attacks and then stole their property and took everything they had. Fulani have a saying in Nigeria: treat the Christian like a pet chicken. You raise the chicken, you feed the chicken, you pet the chicken, love the chicken until it's time to chop off its.
And this is why you should carry weapons. Yeah, I'm being blunt here. Jesus even told his disciples to sell their coat and buy a sword, but people don't want to talk about that. They just want to talk about to turn the other cheek when you're being persecuted. Listen here. If you just let people harm you, you're not doing God's will or the Lord's work. You're not doing anything good, just allowing people to harm you for your belief. I'm just going to be blunt here. How are you going to continue to preach and continue to spread the gospel if you're dead? And I'm saying this for the Christians because the video literally states a warning. All Christians need to hear this, but to be truthfully honest, this is for all America, really. You got Mamdani as your New York mayor. You got these immigrants. You know, Ilhan Omar was a congresswoman, and her and Tim Walz are now under fire for what the Somalians were doing, stealing our money and funneling it back to their home country. Imagine what's going to happen if we start getting a bunch of Islamic mayors and governors. What do you think is about to happen? Look at what's going on in the UK. That's the part no one wants to talk about. They've been doing this shit. It's been a thing. We just been letting it. It's been happening since Obama. Well, actually, well before that, but in most recent times, Obama. After we was done in the Middle East, we were allowing their refugees to come in to our country, which is a red flag, especially if you got the president allowing this shit. We were just at war with these people, and now we're letting their refugees just come in. You don't know if they're sleeper agents. You don't know they're spies. You don't know they have plans to invade us politically so that they can take over. You don't know what the fuck they're trying to do after we were just bombing their shit up, and then you're just letting them walk right in through the door. stupid from a war. Like, that's poor war strategy. I'm just gonna be blunt. And now they're here, and you see some of them in the streets talking about holy war and shit. Like, our New York City has an Islamic mayor who's about to swear in on a Quran instead of a Bible. The same city that got the Twin Towers blown up. Whether you want to say it's an inside job or not, you know who was flaunting that around. And we're just turning a blind eye to it. And even in the comment section, we got people, well, how did Christianity spread? And they bringing up the Crusaders and all this shit. The Crusades were a response to Islam taking over and killing off their people. That's why the Crusades started. That's the first thing. Second, in the Bible, if they don't want to believe after you told them about Jesus, it tells you to just move on. Dust your sandals off, walk away. It doesn't tell you to kill them and force them into your submission, like the Quran would tell an Islamic person to do. Like, I'm sick of people trying to shit on Christianity, but the very thing you are defending is the most violent religion. I'm just gonna be blunt. I have yet to see another religion as violent as Islam. Say what you want. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Right now, my no fucks given meter is at an all-time high. That's part of the reason why I haven't really been making these videos. It feels like no one cares to listen, so I don't bother. But it is what it is. Also,
and I know it's difficult to hear, but
this shit, and this is the part of the reason why I don't trust Intel. So this guy is from Israel, and this is what he has to say.
And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it, and quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online.
Oh, like during COVID? Listen. And I've seen this before. Some group, I don't know, it was weird. They had this interesting symbol on a red flag. Some guy with a funny ass mustache who was talking about controlling the information. Yeah. It's why the Second Amendment exists. That's all I'm gonna say. For both of these, this is why the Second Amendment exists. Maybe it is time to start arming ourselves. I'm just gonna be blunt. Especially if they're gonna try to get us hemmed up and then control the people who are trying to warn other people. Yeah, it maybe it's time. I'm not saying go crazy and go buck wild or anything. All right, but I don't know. Maybe it's time to go to a range and start practicing. I'm done. Peace.